Welcome behind this scene, presented by Amato Media, and your host, Ryan Amato.
Good afternoon, it's Ryan Amato from Ryan Amato Painting and Epoxy Flooring, and I want to talk to you today. We've been getting a slew, so we've been very busy with our painting work, obviously, and also our epoxy floors. So we've been getting a slew of requests simply stating how much is my epoxy floor. Now, I do want to first say that if you're calling around contractors and you're looking for generalized pricing, you're in for some major dissatisfaction. You could be disappointed when the job starts and your expectations could not be met. You cannot just call around and monetize a contractor. We've been through this one before. When you start monetizing contractors, you're slowly making everybody a dollar sign. And just as you know, as well as I know, every contractor is not the same. If everybody was the same, everybody did the work the same, everybody used the same products, everybody was at your house all at the same time, you're still going to get a different job because they don't use the same employees or painters or subcontractors. You cannot just call around and ask for a pricing of a 20 by 20 garage floor. That's not the contractor you want working at your house who's going to give you pricing for that. You want to develop a relationship with your contractor because, trust me, you want to hold on to these contractors so you can use them in the future. We are in the business of finding contractors, and I will tell you, it is the hardest thing to find a reliable contractor. Now, we use subcontractors on everything except for certain projects and all of our epoxy floors. And we're always looking for painting contractors, contractors who could do carpentry work, and we can't just call around and say, how much do you want per hour? Think about it that way. So if I was just calling up in the phone, or I put an ad on Indeed or Monster or Craigslist just looking for painters, and everybody that called us, we just said, hey, how much do you want to make an hour? And if they gave us the right amount, we would hire them with nothing else. No interview, no meeting, no questions. They're just hired. Yeah, that's crazy. But that's what you're doing when you're calling around contractors just looking for pricing. Or you're going on Google, or you're going on Home Advisor, or you're going on Angie's List, and you're trying to find out what it should cost to do an epoxy floor. Let me tell you what it should cost. It should cost what it costs to do it properly. The issue with epoxy floors, and this is no offense to other painting contractors at all, because there's many good painting contractors out there, and I know many of them. They're great people. Not every painting company can do epoxy floors. It's not the same as painting a wall. No matter how much people want to tell you that, it is not the same. You have to know about chemistry. You have to know about epoxies. You have to know about polyaspartics. You have to know about polycuramines. You have to know about sealers and humidity and dew point and surface temperature and mills. And you have to know about a lot of things that you'll never have to worry about painting Mrs. Smith's bedroom walls. And I don't know if you've been around, but sometimes painters aren't the swiftest of the bunch. Now, that's not a disparaging comment about all painters, because I'm a painter. But you know what? I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was growing up. I had some ideas, but my whole family were painters. Did you know that I went to painting school for 4 years? And people are going to say, well, why would you go to painting school? You just go buy some buckets and brushes and rollers, and you're in the painting business. And that's the problem with the perception of the painting industry right there. Everybody thinks that everybody can paint because they can take their little project from Pinterest. They can look on, Google and Facebook and YouTube and all that other stuff, and they've seen how to do chalkboard paint, and they've seen how to paint a wall or put some wall covering up. But that's all well and fine until something goes wrong, and that's when the real painters step up. The people who have worked for 15, 20, 30 years as a painting contractor, who know just exactly what to do, and usually know it before it actually happens. Do you know why that paint bubbles up on the outside of your house? Or why you have bubbles coming up on your epoxy floor? Probably not, but you're probably very quick to blame the painting contractor. Or, like we get a lot, people start their project and realize they can't do it anymore. They start their kitchen cabinets and can't do it anymore, and then they call us. And now we have to go backwards because they didn't use the right primer, or they didn't use the right paint or top coats, or they didn't prepare the surface correctly. This is especially important with epoxy floors. The kits from the big box stores that you guys are buying are not even remotely close to the products that we or any professional epoxy floor coating company would use. Not even close. There's no comparison. It's not close. It's not going to hold up as long. And even if you are buying those products and you want to do the floor yourself, I've yet to see, and you know, I'm sure you'll all send me pictures, I've yet to see a properly applied and prepared residential garage epoxy floor by a homeowner. Never. Either the flakes look ridiculously horrible, or they didn't prepare the floor at all. They didn't grind the floor. Acid etching and grinding the floor are two different things entirely. You know, many people are getting away from acid etching because it's not good for you, or they have new products to acid etch. We're going at the floor mechanically. That's what we want to do. There's also other products that can be used for adhesion purposes instead of grinding. These products are all expensive. It's not the kit at Home Depot, guys, or at Lowe's. It's not the same product. Trust me. I know who makes those products. They're not the same product. We would never take that product and use it on a commercial application or in somebody's house, in the garage. Never, ever. You'd be far-fetched to get a warranty from that. And you know, a warranty only means that they're going to replace the product. That doesn't mean that they're going to come in and pay for somebody to remove that product from your floor. So, what's my spiel about? It's about, you know, you can't monetize people, contractors. You can't do it. If you're getting a tangible service, that's a different story. If I'm trying to sell you this, you know, I'm looking at my phone in my hand. It's a specific phone that does a specific thing, and you can go to the store and buy specifically this phone. That's a different story, because you know how much the phone is. You can go from one store to the next store and they both have the phone. There you go. But if you're starting to talk about service and what the store can do for you, now service changes from store to store. Now you can't compare by price anymore. We really have to get it out of our heads that comparing any kind of service or contractor solely by price is the way to go. It's not. Also, what we've been seeing a ton are, so epoxy floors are hot right now. That's the hot thing to get. Everybody wants an epoxy floor. What does that mean? It brings in new contractors who think they can do epoxy floors. It also brings an opportunity in to use lower grade materials so you can maximize profits. When anytime money comes into the picture, whether it's epoxy floors, kitchen cabinet painting was hot a little while ago. It's still going on. Whether we're talking about collectibles or selling things, when there's an opportunity to make money, people want to make more money and they want to be greedy. And the way to be greedy in the painting industry is to use cheap products or cheaper labor or do crappy ass work and just walk off the job because the job looks great right now. So by comparing services solely based on price, you're very liable to get that cheap product or that cheap labor. Cheap labor is not always good. Cheap labor sometimes is good. It depends. Most of the time when you get cheap labor, it's because the person estimating the jobs has no idea about the painting industry or running a business. So maybe you're getting a good job, but they're not going to be able to sustain a company. So if something happens to that floor that was their problem or their issue, the painting contractor or the epoxy floor installer, will they be around to help you fix it? These are all things you have to think about. You can't just call up and, I want to paint my bedroom, and what are you going to charge me to paint a 10 by 10 bedroom? I get it all the time, guys, and that's not the people that we want to work for. It shouldn't be the people that you want to work for. How do you feel if somebody just puts a big dollar sign on your face and puts two other painting contractors next to you, and they have $2 signs and the third has 3, and that's how they choose the painter? And you know that the other two, the one guy never shows up to his jobs, and the third guy has robbed probably 2 or 3 other clients. And you're the great guy, you're admirable, you do everything correct, you do the right thing, and you lose work because they're choosing the lowest price. What do? Do you just lower your pricing because that's the way to go? No. We have to show people our value. There's value in what you do. There's value in the years that you've toiled in the painting industry to build your reputation, to earn your respect, and to know what you do is the right way to do it. It's your way. I shouldn't even say it's the right way. It's your way that you do things, and that is what's worked for you for the last 10, 15, 20 plus years. Just because it's written on Google or shown in a video on YouTube or somebody posted it on Facebook does not mean that's the proper way to do things. Also, let's talk about specifications. So we get that a lot too. When you read those little things that, hey, you have to grind the floor, you got to use, we've had customers call up and tell me, they've mentioned products that there's no possible way a residential homeowner would know about these products. No way. But they read about them, and that's what they have to use because that's the hot product and that's what they want to use. But then they get the price and then they're like, oh my God, that's way too much for a floor. So let's jump into pricing with epoxy floors. We've been getting, again, as I said in the beginning, a slew of requests. They're price shoppers, so they're just, hey, I've got a 2-car garage, what's the price? And then we give them a price and you never hear from them again. And that's the unfortunate aspect of virtual estimating. So we're not going out to their house anymore to look them right in the eye and to know right then that this is not a job for us. But the benefit of doing virtual estimates is we're not going out to their house anymore, not looking them in the eye, and we're not wasting 2-3 hours on somebody who's never ever going to be able to afford you. So listen, epoxy floors are not inexpensive. You're not going to get a cheap, inexpensive epoxy floor. So let's just get that right out of the way right now. It's not happening. If that's what you want, don't call us. It's not happening. Second is, what is expensive? What's expensive to me might not be expensive to somebody else, or what's inexpensive to me might be expensive to somebody else. What's it worth to you? What's the value in hiring somebody to do your epoxy floor that might cost you between $4 and $6 a square foot or more? Guys, there's no way that you're getting a 2-car garage done for under $1,000 for epoxy, for a professional epoxy application. If you are, I would highly question it. Highly question it. One thing we're seeing is, again, I said epoxy's hot right now. We're seeing very low-grade products, low-grade ingredients coming out. But the problem is they can call them the same words. You're going to hear 100% solids. You're going to hear polyaspartic. They're the two epoxies that you should be hearing if you're going to get a floor done. Did you ask the epoxy applicator how thick of a coating you're going to get, they should be talking in mils. That's another way to check and make sure you're getting the proper project. They could lie to you, sure, because you're not going to be out there measuring, but a professional will be. Ask them, did you measure? What mils are we getting on our floor? Why is that important? Well, thicker the coating, the better the protection of your concrete. People are coming in. I just talked about the products at Home Depot and Lowe's. They are very thin build epoxy systems. That's why it's cheaper. Not because it's just a cheap product in general. It's because of the build of the film. You're getting a thin film build epoxy from any kit at Home Depot or Lowe's, and that's just the way it is. You want the thickest coating you can get for a fair price from a professional company that you trust and you feel good about having them around your house. And that's it. If you're calling around trying to save $1 a square foot from company to company, that's pretty sorry. And you're going to pay for it in missed expectations. So don't forget, guys, if you're a contractor, don't let people monetize you. It's not the way to go. If you're a homeowner, you can't go around monetizing people. It's just not the way. You're going to get a great job. You're never going to build a relationship because you're always going to find somebody cheaper. Wouldn't it be great if you have, okay, my back door's peeling and I just need a painter. Oh, let's call Bob or Jim or Ryan because we've used them 100 times and I know exactly what it's going to cost, or a roundabout. I don't even need a price. You can just come paint the door and bill me. Try that if all you're doing is selecting the lowest price every time and you don't know who can come out and do your work. You're going to have to get an estimate every time you want something small done. You want a door done, you have to have somebody come out and give you an estimate for it. So, trust me, you want to do things the right way. You want to find somebody at your house who you trust. They're going to be around your family. Do you trust the people that you're hiring? Is price worth it?